This is Barry from Cruising Authority at cruisetalkshow.com. The Forbidden City, the Great Wall of China, terracotta warriors. The views are spectacular, amazing, fantastic.
This is amazing.
Smooth seas. Well, we're here in the dining room aboard the Viking Century Sun talking with Jonas. Jonas, you're the hotel manager?
Yes, correct.
Now, Jonas, you've also worked in the past as a chef, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we talk about that, I want to ask you about the very beginning of Viking River cruises in China. You were there at the very beginning of this cruise line when it started in China.
Yes, we started coming here in 2003, and we had the first year of full operation in 2004. I started already on the 22nd of November 2003, starting with the setup, organizing everything, cutlery, chinaware, all the necessities what we need here, also the supply chain. Previously then with the older vessel, the Viking Century Star, this was an older vessel, a smaller 180 passenger, which we have returned now after we received the two big ones, the Viking Century Sky and Sun. Of course I was here from the beginning, did the setup, organizing all the supplies, and of course also training and guiding all the Chinese employees.
So that must have been a daunting task to come here from, did you say you're from Switzerland?
From Switzerland originally, correct.
To come here to China, not knowing the language, and to train all of these Chinese people.
Yeah, this was quite a challenge. Okay, I had done some other countries prior to this, Eastern Europe, a few countries there, as well Middle East, and then of course China, which was a tremendous challenge. But of course the positive thing here are the young boys and girls, which you have experienced as well the last few days. They are very dedicated, very eager and very willing to learn, and they are adapting and learning very fast. And it has been a true pleasure to see the progress over the years, how they become since the first minute when we started, where we basically started by nothing. They couldn't speak English, they didn't know what is a fork and knife, and they didn't know anything. And now they are performing, I believe, quite well.
Jonas, you were there at the beginning when Viking River Cruises first decided to come to China. Did you have meetings with the executives of Viking River Cruises?
Well, I'm already now since 9 years with the company, so I know, of course, a few of the top guys as well. And obviously, they needed somebody to come to China, and I was right on the spot there, so they decided to send me, which I'm truly grateful for it. And it gives me a big life experience here working and achieving this, what we are doing now. And of course Viking tried to get a step into the Chinese market here. The Yangtze is a very beautiful river. It's one of the longest rivers on the world as well. And for the passenger, a true adventure, because here really it is matching the company philosophy, which means traveling, exploring, and here of course you have right and left, you have history of older than 3,000 years, the walls, and also the pagodas and all this. It's a very, very old and unique history, and of course this goes very well with our philosophy, exploring.
So let me go to the dining on board. We've really enjoyed the dining on board the Viking Century Sun. Now, is the menu the same fleet-wide?
No, the menus of course are adjusted according to the location. As you have experienced, we have here some Chinese meals as well. Of course, we try to give them as much as home as possible, which means also of course Western food. Because on the land portion they have already experienced a lot of Chinese food, so we try to give them as well a little bit the home food, which is the Caesar salad and the steaks and so on. And of course it's very unique. We are one of the only passenger vessels here in China who have a Western chef. We also have totally of stream Western management, which is very unique here on the China rivers, and we are trying to make something completely different than the other ones are doing.
And I think you have achieved that. You have a solid brand name, Viking River Cruises, here in China. Even though Viking River Cruises is not a Chinese company, you're actually here. You've penetrated the company. You've penetrated the country, and you're bringing Westerners and people from all over the world to the Yangtze River. I understand you have kind of a Western menu, and you have a German chef. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. We have a German chef, Olaf Grams. He's now already the 4th season with us. He's already over 6 years with the company, and the 4th season here with me in China. And I think he does a tremendous job here. Yeah.
Does he add a little German flair to his cooking?
Oh, I think every chef is adding his own flair to it, and it would be bad if it wouldn't be like this, of course. And also the way of working, of course, it's you can see a little bit the German style of it. But this is a part of the game, I would say, and the people are very, very appreciated.
Do you have a signature dish or meal on board the Viking Century Sun?
Well, one of our definitely highlights is probably this, what you have experienced yesterday night, the beef tenderloin, which comes from a very unique butcher, a German butcher, which is already over 20 years in Beijing. And he is getting this also from the Inner Mongolian highlands, and it is a very, very good quality. Yeah.
Well, we enjoyed it. I know my wife is a big beef eater. She loves beef, and I do too. Not as much. I'm more of a fish person, but it was well prepared. It was very tasty. Now, what about some of the desserts? Where do the desserts come from?
Well, basically, you can say everything except the bread is done here on board fresh. We are not using any pre-mixture or other pre-made dishes or ingredients. Even the sauces and the stocks, everything is freshly done on a daily basis. Only the bread, this we buy pre-baked because we don't have the facilities and the space to do it, but the rest is 100% freshly done on a daily basis.
Well, now you're here week after week. You must see the response from the passengers. I can tell you, I can guess they probably enjoy the dining very well.
Well, the ratings we are over the past few years have been kept on a very high standard, and we are very, very happy. Of course, we see sometimes the tension that as younger the public gets, it's more coming up the question for maybe a little bit more Chinese variety. But actually also this we are adjusting from time to time. When we see that the comments are getting into this direction, then we start to adjust, yes.
Well, Jonas, thank you very much for bringing us into the dining room here and telling us a little bit about how you started in China and also about your dining.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you on board.